Welcome into the PFF NFL Daily. Today discussing the New England Patriots quarterback situation. Sam, we all saw it Monday Night Football. Mac Jones coming off the ankle injury, gets the start, lasts only 3 series, throws an interception, and then benched? I don't know. Bill Belichick said he wasn't benched for performance purposes, wasn't for injury purposes, but Bailey Zappi comes in, tears it up for 2 straight drives, 2 touchdowns, but that was it. Patriots lose 33-14. And we have no idea what's happening with the quarterback situation in New England. It sounds like Bill Belichick obviously isn't giving any information either. So what do we make of Mac Jones, Bailey Zappi?
And don't give me quarterback situation. This is a controversy. Quarterback controversy. That's what we're dealing with here. Look, obviously it was a little weird yesterday. And I don't think that Belichick's explanations make it better. You know, he said, no, he didn't get benched. This was always the plan to rotate the quarterbacks. But was it? Why? I mean, that doesn't make any more sense. Like, okay, if Mac Jones is healthy, if he's good to go, which it looked like he was, by the way, like he was scrambling around, making some moves on that ankle, didn't look bad. So if Mac Jones is healthy, I would say he's done enough in his career so far to get that job back without any kind of timeshare arrangement with Bailey Zappi based off the back of 2 games, right? Yes, they were 2 reasonably impressive games, but Mac Jones had 2 games in back-to-back succession last year where he looked better than anything we saw from Bailey Zappi. So why are we weighing the Zappi plays more just because they happened the last 2 weeks? I would say Mac Jones should be the starter going forward. But evidently, Belichick doesn't necessarily feel that way. And if you look at what Mac Jones has done this year, it's been bad. Like he's got a PFF grade of 54 right now. He's got more turnover-worthy plays than big-time throws. His average depth of target is at some astronomical 10.4 yards downfield, which is just insane for a quarterback of Mac Jones' style of play. He's not playing well right now. So I don't know if they're like desperately scrambling around for like anything better than that. And Bailey Zappi is all you've got, but this isn't good.
Yeah, so it felt like, at least the Monday night game felt like Belichick trying to provide a spark, right? I mean, it wasn't a pure, technically it was a benching, right? You have a starter in Mac Jones and you brought in the backup. And of course, the New England crowd went nuts. There were people at the stadium saying, we haven't heard anything like this since like mid-Brady, dynasty era, right? I mean, the crowd was going crazy for Bailey Zappi. And I don't know if it's just because, hey, they won 2 games over the last couple of weeks, or if they really believe that he's better than Mac Jones. But the point you already made, I think, is the most important one. Like Mac Jones did enough exciting things last year to say, hey, he's the starter going forward, right? Trying to predict what Bill Belichick's going to do at quarterback, other than Tom Brady being the starter, has not been easy. I mean, Brady over Belichick, Brady over Bledsoe was a huge move. Even when Mac Jones was handed the job, that was straight off of Cam Newton essentially being the starter the previous year, looking like the starter throughout the preseason. Mac Jones had didn't play in the last preseason game, and all of a sudden it was like, yep, Mac Jones is the starter, Cam Newton's cut. Like, predicting that was difficult as well. So good luck to anybody trying to predict this, but Belichick's been the one of all the coaches around the league who's okay to like cut ties with first rounders and in previous top investments and stuff like that. But you have to think the Patriots want Mac Jones to be the guy, right? Like, you have to think they want to do well by him, not to justify their first round pick, because at some point they believed he was worth the first round pick and that he should be the guy going forward.
Yeah, I mean, people have been making the argument today that, can you come up with a particularly compelling argument for Mac Jones to be the starter that doesn't involve the words first round pick? And the answer to that is probably no. But I would also say that you can't come up with one for Bailey Zappi either. Like, if you had somebody else that had a great arm, or he was showing, incredible physical tools, or looked amazing as a quarterback, then sure. Like, I would absolutely agree with the idea that Mac Jones has not done enough, certainly recently, outside of the first 8 games, to say that he should be the starter if you remove the previous sort of sunk cost of the first round draft pick. But Bailey Zappi has 1 big time throw in 99 dropbacks right now. Like, Bailey Zappi is not a physical monster. Bailey Zappi doesn't have the strongest arm in the world. We're not talking about somebody who's bringing obvious things to the table that Mac Jones is not, other than simply he doesn't turn the ball over as much, right? Bailey Zappi has been pretty careful with the football so far in the action that we've seen from him. But that isn't a great reason to not start Mac Jones, because we know Mac Jones has been able to do that in the past as well. So I think what we're really looking at is Mac Jones not playing well the start of this year, not playing well really at the end of last year either. Belichick maybe trying to throw a boot up his ass and say, this isn't good enough, you need to play better. And doing so by getting into that awkward, Bill Walsh territory of, let's just play both these guys off against each other and let's hope something good comes of it. Which is, fine, but seems pretty risky.
That has to be the reason. But picture it, Sam. Your kicker's lining up for the onside kick. The chances of regaining possession are slim. The stakes are high. The tension's higher. Your pulse is racing. He kicks, and you watch as the ball lands. And you can make every play feel this exciting with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. And their unbeatable offers. Right now, new customers can make any $5 NFL bet and get $200 in free bets if your team wins. Check it out. In addition to the usual bets, everyone can boost their winnings with DraftKings stepped-up same-game parlays. To make things even sweeter, you can throw down on those stepped-up same-game parlays once per game day all season long. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code PFF to get $200 in free bets if your team wins. Just place a $5 bet on any football game only at DraftKings Sportsbook using the code PFF. You asked if you could make a compelling case why Mac Jones should be the starter. I think I can. I mean, he was good as a rookie overall. The totality of what Mac Jones brought to the table as a rookie was good. He did not play very well down the stretch outside of, look, he played okay in Buffalo in that playoff game. He was fine there, even though they got beat down pretty bad. And there was a good game against Jacksonville. And that was New England last year. They just destroyed a few teams, the Jets a couple times, Cleveland, Jacksonville. And that's where a lot of Mac Jones' best PFF grades, that's where a lot of his production came. He certainly did not play well down the stretch. He had that one game in Buffalo where the winds were crazy and he only dropped back 3 times.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there were some ups and downs to Mac Jones' rookie season, but the totality of it was like, hey, here's something to build on, right? And he didn't turn the ball over a lot last year. He had a low turnover-worthy play rate. You'd have to think that's going to regress. So I think Mac Jones has shown enough that there's something to build around there, even though to this point this year, plus the injury, he has not played very well.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a great case, though. He played pretty well the first half of his rookie year, the end. I mean, to me, the biggest case is I don't see your viable alternatives. I don't think, look, it's worked for Bill Walsh, right? And Bill Walsh is one of the greatest coaches of all time. Bill Belichick evidently feels like he's going to give it the same shot. But it feels to me like the potential negative of playing 2 quarterbacks off against each other outweighs the potential positive that one of them will be better and you'll figure it out on the fly over the course of the year that they're playing. To me, this should be Mac Jones's job unless you have something obviously better come along to displace him. And Bailey Zappi isn't that guy. Okay, draft priors don't mean everything, but there's a reason that Mac Jones went in the first round and Bailey Zappi went a lot lower than that. And it isn't just because Mac Jones went to Alabama. You know what I mean? He was a better prospect. And over the course of their careers, he's probably been a better NFL player, even though Bailey Zappi is only 2 games long. This feels like a fairly dramatic move for something that didn't really need to happen.
Yeah, I didn't want to be the guy to throw the cold water on the Bailey Zappi hype because it was through the roof on Monday Night Football. But even if you just look at his first couple games, in the Thursday night game, right? He gets in there, first big play is off of play action. There's nobody in the area code of Jacoby Myers. He almost actually misses the throw. Jacoby Myers has time to make a diving catch, get up, and lunge for the end zone for what should have been a walk-in touchdown. Makes a pretty good throw to Devontae Parker down the sideline. But in the Cleveland game, too, it's play action. Hunter Henry runs a route. The defender falls over. Henry just catches it, runs in. I mean, look, the Zappi stats are inflated a little bit by wide open play action passes. And it's not because he's just like a magician with play fakes or anything like that. So it was never going to be this sustainable thing. And we saw that in the second half Monday night. So I think Belichick was trying to, in one part, say, hey, Mac, play better. The other part, maybe try to, boost the team a little bit with the hot hand. But it'll be fascinating going forward because, like you said, Bill Walsh did things differently. Bill Belichick has always done things differently. And we haven't seen Bill Belichick with these types of quarterback decisions to make really since 2001, right? He selected Mac Jones over Cam Newton. That was a decision to make, fine. But now I'm expecting Mac Jones to come back in this Sunday, but who the heck knows?
Maybe the reason they cut Cam Newton is that he can't help himself with this kind of situation. Unless Tom Brady is there, like he's going to constantly flip-flop from one to the other. So get rid of Cam Newton. That way I can't keep going back and forth between Mac Jones and Cam Newton.
And we thought at the time maybe they'll keep Cam around as a short yardage guy or whatever. But then his personality's too big. You can't do that. So they just cut bait. Anyway, I have no idea what's going to happen this Sunday. Who's going to start this Sunday, Sam?
I would assume it's still Mac Jones.
I would guess Mac Jones as well, but good luck trying to get into Bill Belichick's mind. Let us know who will and who should start for the New England Patriots.